Okay as in okay, or okay as in okay? Okay. I will call this, 14th regular meeting of the Knox County Commission to order. We have one absent commissioner, but we still have a quorum. We don't need the budget committee to vote us. Meeting called order presentation. This is going to be administrative.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so every April, we acknowledge years of service with the county. So I'm delighted to open this portion of our meeting up. We're here to formally acknowledge several dedicated team members for their significant milestones with the county. We're going to start with the increments of 5 first. And I believe we have some leadership and management here to speak on behalf of some of our employees. So apologies, but I'm going to kick it off with Jackie McCauley. And I won't speak too much for Jackie because we do have our manager in here. But what I will say is her work ethic and skill set indeed is amazing. She provides assistance above and beyond with our citizens and attorneys and everybody else that comes through that office. Although I've only known her for a couple of years, I know how lucky we are to have somebody so dedicated in this role. So thank you. Maddie, would you like to add anything?
I think you did a lovely job. I would just add if anyone gets a chance to talk with Jackie, she has an amazing sense of humor. We work hard, but we also laugh a good deal of time too. I always say we are at work for most of our hours in the day, and if you have a good team of people that makes it enjoyable, Mondays aren't too tough. You know, I think the county's very lucky.
Good, Jack.
I would love to know what Jackie does, because it's not listed here anywhere.
Great point. Jackie is our Deputy Register of Deeds.
Ah, you're one of the people that makes money for us.
Yes.
You're real special. Everybody else costs us money, so that's great. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Deputy Kevin High. He was not able to be here with us. He was hired in 2017 by the county, although he was in a part-time role. And for the purposes of this recognition presentation, we acknowledge full-time. But I still wanted to mention that he has been with us for 8 years. We're celebrating his 5th full-time year with us today, and I believe we have some of his leadership too. Jump in.
So Kevin has a primary job, we are his second job, I think. So Kevin has been in law enforcement for, we're doing the math, I'm pretty sure it's around 36, almost 40 years, even though 5 or so have been with us. He's been full-time in a lot of agencies. He was even the chief of police in the town of Thomaston and retired. So what he does for us is he's one of our airport security deputies. So he provides security for all the onboarding of all the commercial flights at the airport. One of the other things that he does, or many of the other things he does, is he steps up anytime something comes up with, as I like to call them, extra duties. He volunteers to be part of the security team. He volunteers to be part of other things within the airport, also within his community. His second or his primary job, I think, is Tractor Supply these days. So that's where he is at today, working there. So Kevin is an extremely wonderful resource for us, having that many years of service. He does a great job communicating with the public, doing his job. He's able to, as we say, negotiate and mediate any rough spots into compliance and cooperation.
That really sums it up. Kevin is often the absolute, absolute pleasure working with. He actually is there today. Today at the airport, Kevin is our airport security coordinator. And part of that is that him and I both have to work with the TSA pretty consistently. Be available for him at all times. Whenever I'm on vacation and like that, Kevin has to take the reins and shoot that. And lately, he's also been doing some volunteer work with the state as far as the main threat assessment for drones. always looking for something new that you can tackle on, always looking to learn. Yeah, absolute pleasure to have him.
You know, he's not here. All right, next celebrating 5 years is Deputy Chad Abbott. Chad's been with the county for 5 years now. And again, I haven't had the opportunity to work with him too much. I did a little work with him earlier this year. A true pleasure to work with. I know he's very dedicated to his field. Again, hoping his leadership up to speak.
Chad is one of our rural patrol senior staff nowadays. Chad in particular, another employee who's over 31 years of law enforcement experience. He was a Maine State game warden and also worked in, I believe, Rangeley. I was a supervisor there for a while, ended up coming to us a little over 5 years ago into a role patrol position, and likes life there. He's tried other roles, other positions, has found that being a rural patrol deputy is the best of all that he's had. With all of that experience and knowledge that he has, again, he's on the road, he's negotiating, mediating his way through success, able to talk a lot of individuals who may have otherwise not been so cooperative into being cooperative and complying either with the law or with the rest or whatever it may be. So it's a pleasure having Chad on the team just because of that experience and ability to negotiate.
Next up, celebrating 10 years is Leticia, our GIS manager. So Leticia began work with the county as a volunteer back in 2013. Let me know if I mess any of this up. She was hired as a part-time employee in 2014 and then became full-time in 2015. In 2025, the GIS manager position transitioned from working with the Emergency Management Agency over to the administrative office. Since then, I can't even list all that Leticia has supported this office with. The real reason for the merge was to be more in line with communication and external facing work with municipalities. But since she's come on, she's headed off our website committee. She's developed 2 visual budgets with a third coming later this year. She's supported multiple municipality correspondence and overall data support for the administrative office with a lot of wonderful things coming down the pipe. Leticia is a customer-centric and process-oriented individual. We sometimes get a little too giddy about our future planning and have to slow down and take a breath, but it's all in good fun. She's never shy to ask what other people need and how she can help, and she's always willing to grab something for the team from Atlantic Baking Company. So thank you, Leticia.
Can I just add something? I love having someone that does so much work to help us in ways that I absolutely don't understand. It's, I've seen it in a bunch of the different places. It's such an amazing work. I don't know how you do it, but thank you.
Mr. Riley is next. Shane Riley is going to be celebrating 25 years with the county, which is a very long time. I've had the privilege of working with Shane in different capacities over the last 3 years, and I can't even list how many wonderful things I could say about him. His dedication to this community, not just the county, is much appreciated. But again, we have his leadership here, so I'll let them. Some of the leadership here.
So Shane is the district attorney's investigator. It's a very unique position, pretty much only one of his position across every county in the state, and not every county has one like Shane in particular. So Shane is more of what we call a subject matter expert. So even though he's an investigator and has authority as a law enforcement officer, a lot of what he does is assist law enforcement in managing prosecution. And what I mean by that is especially for young deputies and officers who are new to this, Shane is that resource. How do I put together my case packet? How do I make sure I've done good interviews? How do I put that in a format that the court is going to be able to appreciate? So that's just one of many of those things. The other piece is search warrants in particular. One of the things that we experience in this profession is a lot of low frequency, high risk things. Search warrants and arrest warrants being one of those things. You know, even for myself, I've been in this job, 26 years, and I still need help with warrants from time to time. And Shane is our go-to person. So everything that Shane does for this county is keeping all of our law enforcement officers, and I mean literally all of us, all the local PDs, sheriff's office, even the state agencies, in line and helping to prosecute people through District 6 here in Knox County.
And I want to speak up again, I guess in the sense, you have a job where you're never allowed to take a vacation. Accurate, the way they speak about you, which is, everything just shuts down, the district attorney office just works for those. Okay.
We'll talk about that on the 23rd.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we have Madeline Cole, who is our Register of Deeds. So Maddie's been with the county since 2000. She started as a deeds clerk and now is the Register of Deeds. She handles the demands of the position extremely well and works very independently, and I cannot emphasize that enough. The lack of support she needs from this office and IT and all of our other supporting offices is extremely minimal. They're a very self-sufficient run office, and I am very grateful for that. Deeds is a race to record state, which requires extra attention to detail and a little extra attention to the process itself. Maddie's customer service, her expertise in the field, her training experience, and her mentorship is invaluable to this county. We're very lucky to have a dependable, dedicated Register of Deeds handling all of Knox County's, recordings. Aside from that, Maddie is a true joy to work with on a daily basis. I appreciate her humor, honesty, and her love for plants. Thank you, Maddie.
And I have to say, again, you're the department, if you decide to close up, the whole building has to shut down because you're the only one that makes money, so,
I don't think we've ever closed.
that's the problem with these jobs. Yeah.
So as you know, in past years, we've given out knickknacks, I'll call them. Last year, we switched over to providing additional vacation days. So their hard work and dedication here can then be taken not in these walls. So that's what we'll be providing all of you in the next week. You'll have an update with what that will look like for you.
Do they get 1 day per year? Is that-
They get one day every 5 years,
So, but they're not allowed to take it, right?
but not until the budget passes.
I didn't want to step in on every single one of them, because everybody who works for the county is incredibly important. It is the reason that we run it all, as you say. Without any one of them, we wouldn't be operating. But the people who've been here for a long time show a dedication that is really admirable. And we're incredibly thankful for the amount of time that people put in, especially if you can measure years. And they're all familiar because they've been here for longer than I have. And I want to thank them all. And I think we can do a poll and see whether they rather have T-shirts or vacation time.
Absolutely.
And, but I think the vacation is a nice,
For now, until we think of something better, I think it's a,
something better
Yeah.
than vacation.
absolutely.
Whoa.
Okay. The next agenda item is also a presentation, so I'm just gonna stand here and do that, but it'll be quick. So the Spirit of America is a independent kind of organization that promotes volunteerism and activities. This year, for 2026, they encouraged counties to highlight and acknowledge and appreciate facilities management, and I am very happy to do that today. So I could gush over Jim Hagan for hours, but I kept this really brief. Jim works anywhere from 10 to 14 hours on any given day. He comes in on the weekends, he comes in overnight, he performs all of our project project management, our janitorial duties, our maintenance duties. He moves our furniture for us when we need it. He goes to get dumpsters. He will go buy chairs for us. And he's also leading his own team of janitorial and maintenance staff. His dedication and attention to the success of Knox County's building and infrastructure is, it's hard to put into words. You can see it on a daily basis. And he does the exact same thing he does for the county, also for the state in this building. So I'll close because I won't want to get out too much, but we cannot emphasize how grateful we are to have you and your team here working with us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have to say two things about Jim. Number one, where everybody else, if the departments aren't working, then we have to close the building. If Jim's not here, there is no building. So, and the other thing, I've never seen anybody smile asking the budget committee for money last week and have them just go right along with them. And that's a talent that I rarely ever see, so.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda are commission updates. Is there anything you'd like to update the public on?
I don't, it's been, as everybody knows, we've started the budget session. I thought last week went really well. Looking forward to going through this, getting you back on track. Thinking tomorrow night, the administrator might have to be attending the fire committee, whatever they're called,
Mutual aid chiefs.
mutual aid chiefs meeting, and we'll officially introduce Bob Holmes as our coordinator for public safety. And which is something that they've asked for and which I think the county can desperately use and help everybody work better together in public safety.
That's good. My only update would be that the legislature is finishing up their job for the year. Some of the things that we were most worried about happening did not come through. So we're pretty happy that things have stayed the way they are. But we are starting the budget process. Hopefully we'll get that over with soon. And then we get to start all over again with the budget process. And once we're through that, then I'm looking forward to us sitting down and looking at the charter again after that. So there's no rush on it, but it would be good to start talking about that and figuring out who's gonna be on that committee. But other than that, I have nothing else. Is there any public comment? Anybody in the audience who would like to address the commission? Right.
I'm Mike Keating from Owl's Head, Commissioner Ratner, Chair Glazer. As a selectman, I hear a lot of comments from the public, and I attend all our meetings, and apparently, like no fault, no blame. The airport has some sort of notice of violation for not screening the solar panels that were installed. And I just wanted to make a comment. From what I've been hearing is that the people had wished that some sort of agreement could have been reached without legal being involved with it, like lawyers and stuffs. I feel that our code enforcement officer had reached out and done a decent effort in trying to find some sort of a middle ground to be reached. And apparently, I guess the airport, or I'm not sure who leads that decision, and I guess was my one question: who leads that decision to like send it to legal? And I guess like I say, is if my only request from what I'm hearing is like, please, could we like work together, because we're a town within the county, and to find a better solution than immediately dealing with attorneys.
Any input being on the airport advisory committee?
I keep hearing about that it needs to be worked on. Perhaps our.
Yeah, if I may. So we have met with a town code enforcement officer. We have shown a plan that we would like to do and we would like to go forward with, is adding additional screening to this area. But we were in a time of an interim budget period where we basically had a lockdown on spending large amounts of funds, we had to watch spending. The comment was made that I would like to do this, but I cannot do it during the time of an interim budget. And if a notice violation, which with the permit, I don't believe we are in violation, it's not to say we don't want to do more, but with the permit itself, I didn't feel that we were in violation. And if the notice was sent during the time of the interim budget, I'm almost forced to appeal the notice, because I couldn't divert those funds at that time. And again, the notice of violation says one thing, having a plan to go forward is something else. If, I didn't feel that we were in violation of that. That's not to say that I'm not pursuing the plan to go forward in the future. But
Okay, can I ask a question? You went through the budget process last week, and when we finally get that all approved, will you have the funds to move forward with the new, finishing the project?
not for 2026, we're hoping to do this in 2027.
Okay. So it's gonna take a while.
It is.
Is there a way we can all sit down and have this discussion? Just so that we all keep talking about it? I'm happy to be part of that conversation if it's of any help. I understand where we stand and I understand your standpoint on both parts. One is there is you have employees, the code officer, who are following the rules that are set out by the town and by the state, and you want to make sure that these things happen. But the second half of that is you don't want it to go down the legal path, you want us to find another way. And I understand your point, which is we've done the best we could or thought we did. And we need more money to do the next step, which is what they want. But somehow we've got to find a way in the middle of this that doesn't require us spending money on attorneys, whether for Owl's Head or for us. And if there's a time or place that we can all sit down and have this discussion, I might as well find out more about it and stick my nose in where I'm probably not welcome. But I might as well try to do it, if that's acceptable.
I'd be happy to have these conversations. I guess I view the notice of violation was attached to a permit, and I guess I view that as a separate issue than adding additional for any top. Those are two separate things.
At the next airport meeting, can maybe before or afterwards, can we go look at the situation and go look at it? The administrator as well, just to have an idea. And do you know how much it's gonna cost?
I believe it's to do the plan that we were hoping to get done in 2027, it's gonna be roughly $20,000.
So if we can, it said if we can find a way to meet and work it out, the details with the lawyers, we can probably save money.
That is true, but with a notice of violation, it's a separate issue than the adding additional.
No, I understand.
You're almost forced to do what you live. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you for coming and bringing it. Next item is still public comment. Is there anybody else who would like to address the commission? Seeing as there's none, we'll move on to the next item, which is our routine business, which includes this agenda, department head reports, payroll and expense warrants, and reserve withdrawals. So I have the motion,
I'll make a motion, we approve.
and I will second it. Any discussion?
No.
No discussion. Well, okay then. I haven't had a chance to read the departmental reports. We didn't get them electronically. So we'll read through these and
Get the packet in Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll do it, I glanced through it, but there is one thing I'm interested in, but it has nothing to do with it's a department reporting. It's just a question about aircraft movements for Jacob. Here. I know he's here. I was gonna ask him some. Curiosity, it seems like both Cape Air and Penobscot are doing pretty well. But I noticed that just aircraft movements, which I guess is independent planes, private planes.
Yes.
I noticed in 2016, we had 44,000. 2025, we had 10,000, 9,000 the year before that. There's been a huge drop off. Is that just the ability to keep records? Or is there a drop off in private flights?
In my opinion, the aircraft movement data really that probably shouldn't even be on the report. It's tracked by a GUARD reporting system, which is a system that was developed in Augusta, Maine, that the state's been using for the last couple of years. It doesn't cost the airport anything to have that it was given to us to track. The system isn't great.
Isn't accurate. Okay,
Yeah,
yes, I'm just curious
very
because because everything else seems. And how do you feel the new contract is to go out to bid for our new major airline?
So that's something that's on the agenda today. is for us to discuss,
Right, that's coming up. Okay, sorry. Angela, Eric should have. Sorry, I'm just curious.
As far as plane movements go, will the new tracking, software help with that?
Oh, surely. Well, definitely, it will, yes.
I mean, will that cover all the individual planes that are using the airport too?
Yeah, it'd be every aircraft with an ADS-B receiver. That's something else that's gonna be on the APAC agenda upcoming in May.
Great. Any other discussion? Seeing as there's none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? 2 in favor and none opposed. Discussion item, routine business, yeah, then we'll move to discussion minutes. So budget process update.
Before I jump into discussion items, I want to have some ownership of the meeting minutes that are typically in your routine business. You have not received any since January. That is for a lot of different reasons, mostly bandwidth and capacity. I think I have them about 50% done. But I want to make sure that you three have plenty of time to review them because a lot happened in some of those meetings. So every time we get close to a commission meeting, it's not really appropriate to throw that on you 2 days before. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm hoping to get a batch to you. We'll probably do them in 2 batches to make it a little easier and get those approved so we can have them posted.
Is there a way, AI involved in at this point?
It's something we're looking into, yes.
Okay,
It's
'cause I
not,
know that it can be done. We make things a lot.
I don't know that it's really appropriate for the county administrator to be writing the minutes of all of our meetings. While we're waiting for an administrative assistant, is there a temp person who can do it for us?
yes and no. We did this last year and I had somebody assigned to do the meeting minutes. The difficult thing is a lot of this, you have to have a little bit of background or understanding to know the information, to put it together, to know what to look for. You have to know everybody's names, for example, on the budget committee, right? So there's a lot of back and forth questioning to me anyway, to the point where, I mean, I can do these now in about 10, 15 minutes.
Question, minutes are now preserved on YouTube,
Yes,
so
that does meet our record retention requirement, having them recorded. So we're in compliance, but it is good to have meeting records as well.
So, yeah.
But they'll be a lot shorter.
Because I've seen previous town, when that came online, it was the necessity to do the complex, difficult, intricate, and you could just do a general update, which is much simpler and much easier.
Exactly, yeah. But just want to acknowledge that. Okay, budget process update. So far, so good. This week on Thursday, we're hearing from our grantees. So Midcoast Council of Government, Restorative Justice, Knox Lincoln Water and Soil, Knox Lincoln Cooperative Extension, and the Mutual Aid Association, of course. So they will all present to the Commission and Budget Committee on their needs and what kind of work they do and a little bit of history of how they've worked with Knox County. After that, we're gonna dive into, so the week of the 23rd of April, we'll dive into corrections, sheriff's office, airport security. And then after that, we'll do most of the administrative departments, so probate, deeds, administration, IT, finance, and EMA. And then we will have a 2-week break to provide the budget to the towns, allow for a 10-day public notice posting, and then we'll come back on May 12th, for our final public hearing. So unless anything changes or anything needs to be further reviewed per the request of the Commissioner Budget Committee, it's looking like we should have this to the towns by May 10th at the latest.
Once we vote on the budget, or once it's voted on by the budget committee and then goes through the commission, how long does it take for it to go into effect? Does it go into effect immediately? Because it's an interim budget?
So yes, I'm trying to recall language, but yes, I believe it goes into effect immediately because we are on an interim. We met most of the requirements, as you remember, the charter has requirements, but they're dated for a calendar year budget cycle, and obviously this is abnormal. So I think we've hit every deadline and requirement. To the best of my knowledge and what I've received as far as information is this will take immediate effect because we are on that interim piece. But I will confirm.
Yeah, I mean, the sooner we can get that to the towns, the better. I just wasn't sure if we make any changes at that meeting, if it then has to go back to the towns for their information, and there's a waiting period, or if it goes into effect immediately.
I believe there is a little process that has to be done if there are changes during that time, but yes, then we have to
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think the budget process is going along smoothly, so we'll see what happens. Next.
So most of you are familiar with our communications center at this point. On top of being fully staffed and getting everybody trained adequately and on the same page and doing the same things, and 20 years of paperwork that need to be cleaned up. On top of all of that, our new director, Jessica, has just been named the Maine MENA Region 2 Director. She's going to be sworn in on May 7th at the MENA conference. MENA is the National Emergency Number Association, and it is extremely excited that we have a seat at the table for this. I know Jessica's work so far with the state has been well received. I'm hoping to see some movement. She's bringing a lot of skills and ideas and best practices from her other centers and bringing them to Maine, and it's really, really exciting to watch. So I could not be more thrilled. I don't know how she has the time to do it, but she's doing it, and I think more things like this from the county is just a great thing to do. So we'll probably have to update after she's sworn in, but we're very, very excited and grateful to have her.
And I'm assuming the district is the 4 counties?
Yep, Lincoln, Knoxside, and Walden.
Yep, the same counties we've been dealing with the jails, with the district attorney, with the. Great, how many districts are there in the state?
I just don't,
So
for the state charter for Nina, I don't recall.
Okay.
I will find out.
I just been wondering how many people were at the table when you go there and have this discussion.
That I will be finding out. I'm still kind of in the dark about all of it too, so.
I mean, I think this fits into what the budget committee was talking about. In terms of figuring out what our role is as a successful communication center throughout the rest of the state.
Yes.
Where do we take communications in the next 5 or 10 years in the state? And so thank you, I'm glad we have a seat at the table.
Of course.
I'd like to wonder if we could provide a couple deputies for security in case anybody comes up and wants to hire her. So make sure that can't get close. I think that's really essential right now.
Thanks, you.
the next small mention, and I will do my best to integrate these a bit more often into our meetings. But one of our dispatchers, Corey Mariner, she had a CPR save back in December of 2025. Again, I was trying to get more ahead of these things. CPR saves are, well, I should probably let you speak to them a little bit.
So CPR save is when somebody calls 911 for whatever reason, and through the investigation and the phone or the interview process that we do on the telephone, we determine obviously quick response for our field responders, but we provide those life-saving measures over the phone, like I mentioned in the budget meeting, pre-hospital care, and we can talk people on scene through how to do successful CPR until the medics and therapists take over. It is proven time and time again that the faster you get hands on chest and get CPR done and done properly, it saves more and more lives. And so Corey was involved in a call that started out as what they thought was an asthma attack. He was at a local business and wasn't breathing real well. The inhaler wasn't doing well, and then he collapsed in the middle of the call. And she was able to get them quickly into CPR mode, and the patient is alive and thriving. So we awarded Corey yesterday with a challenge coin that EMA gave, and the Sheriff's Department actually gave a Lifesaver Bar, the awards that they give to their deputies. So she got that as well, and she's also been nominated for the state Phoenix Award for May Nina, and that's for people who have a CPR save. They recognize those people in the state capacity.
I was happy to see it. I saw it on social media, mentioned in social media, so it was great to see that, somebody from our dispatch center, or particularly getting noticed and getting out there that that's one of the services that why the dispatch center is so important. That was great. It was great to see.
There'll be more.
Thank you.
And then this week is Telecommunicators Week. And it is rocking over there this week. They've got a lot of fun things planned, but if you can stop by, we encourage everybody to, public employees, stop by and thank them or grab a piece of candy. Administrative Professionals Day is in April, on April 22nd. So that's for administrative support. Typically, we've been trying to do a luncheon the past couple of years, so I will attempt to do that again this year. So looking forward to just acknowledging a lot of people this month and obviously today. And before I go into Essential Air Service contracts, because they're first on action items, I have one more piece of news, good news to share, if I can invite our EMA director to share that for you. I won't stand right in front of Jim.
So we were finally able to place the order for our barricade system, which I keep bringing up over and over again for 2 years. Between all the federal shutdowns here and there and variety of other issues, it's taken this long to finally get them ordered. But they should be here early enough that we can get first responders and public works departments and anyone who's gonna end up moving these things around for mass gathering events in the county, that they'll be able to get some training on how to do that. So we'll have all the equipment for that. We don't get that many barricades. They were expensive suckers, but there are other agencies around the state that also have the exact same barricades, and we all kind of know about each other. And so there's already kind of all these talks going on about being able to borrow each other's barricades to be able to meet the larger needs. So they're perfect for blocking off roads. They prevent vehicle incursions. So when you shut off a main street and you have people wandering in the roads, you don't have to worry about anyone either on purpose or by accident running anyone down. So we're pretty excited to get these things.
Congratulations. It's been a long time.
Yes.
Go for it. Last update is Essential Air Service.
So, yeah. Every 4 years, the Essential Air Service contract goes out. It's a state contract with the DOT and the air carrier provider, and it's basically a government subsidy for the air carrier that operates out of this airport. It's been Cape Air for almost 2 decades now, somewhere in there. But that's, not to say that it couldn't be any other air carrier. We've got other air carriers that have reached out to me. They've, given me a little presentation on who they are, what they offer, why they're interested in the area. The bids will actually go to the state later this month, and then after that, we have really throughout the spring and summer to submit our recommendation to the state on who we would like to have based off of their proposals. In the past, it's been the airport manager, the county commission, and the town of Rockland that submitted recommendation letters. I'd like to get the town of Owl's Head more involved this year, because we're physically located in Owl's Head. Yeah, I think we've had, I want to say 4 people have reached out to me. That's not to say that all of them will bid or that we won't, have more people that's bid. The plan going forward is to kind of do it how I was told it was done in the past for my time, is just have them actually physically be here in the commission present and invite Rockland and now Owl's Head to watch the presentation. And then we'll go out to public comment and see if, anybody in the public would like to submit a written recommendation and gather it and send it off to the state, but ultimately the state does have the decision on who the air carrier is.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. When will those presentations come before us?
So they have, I don't remember the exact date, sometime in the summer is when we have to have all the letters of recommendation in. I've been encouraging people to come in May and June just to kind of get them done early so we can see. I know one of them, I think it was Cape Air, asked to be here in May, and another one asked to be here, I want to say July.
Is Cape Air in a partnership one? Are they concerned about? And I'm curious about how companies would feel about the competition.
It's a routine thing for them. It happens every so often, but Cape Air is kind of the leader in these types of organizations. I don't think that they feel too threatened just because they have such a solid foothold and they have, almost 2 decades of positive reports. We're very happy to be working with Cape Air. It's not to say that somebody else couldn't come in and give us a crazy offer or something that we would really like better. But Cape Air is an amazing business partner, and I would be surprised if someone can top that.
I remember from the last time, one of the things that happens is you're getting companies that don't provide service in this area who are trying to make a case for how they could provide service in the area. And you have, on the one hand, somebody who's already doing it and somebody who's talking about how they could do it. And it makes it hard to compare them sometimes, just because they're doing a great job. This is another company that's providing the same kind of service that Cape Air is, but usually in someplace else, in Virginia or something like that. And how do you compare those two is gonna be part of the problem. That's figuring it out. Yes. But great, let's, we're part of this process. This is the essential air service contract that comes through the federal government.
Yes, it's a federal program, but it's ran by the state and it's contracted by the state. So it's a DOT. It's a DOT contract, so Maine DOT kind of handles it.
And if you've been following the news and the president's proposed new budget, there are cuts to the essential air service funding.
Yes, right. So I've seen that there are, without bad mouthing other airports, I think there are other airports in the nation that do abuse the EAS service, but airports like us, we are exactly the type of airport that this program is designed for. If they're going to be cutting funding for the EAS program, I hope to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that it's going to be eating away at some of the unnecessary expenses in this and not taking it away from communities that actually do rely on the service. But
So you're sitting there wishing that this is gonna not be bothersome, but it could be.
It very well could be. I mean, you know how it is at the federal level, and who knows what's going to happen there. But I do think that there is a case for cutting funding at other airports across the nation, and some of these that are, in my opinion, kind of abusing it. But I think we're a clear-cut example of what this program is designed to be.
Thank you. Anything else?
I was gonna ask that. When's the next meeting? Because I was out of town for the last one.
For the APAC thing,
Yeah,
the APAC is, we moved it up to May 4th.
5 p.m.
Yes.
What else do we have? Oh, are we done with the discussion items?
We are, thank you.
Then we have action items. And the action items, the first one is an act to reappoint Jan Gaudio for the South Thomaston seat and Roger Peabody for the District 2 seat in the Airport Public Advisory Committee, APAC. Do I hear a motion?
I so moved.
And I will second it. And
Aaron. So, this is their, I want to say their second term, there's, second term on the APAC. Both of these members are very active in it. I believe Mr. Gaudio is the current chair of the APAC. Sure, you know, Mr. Peabody is very involved and he's part of the budget committee as well. I really appreciate it. You know, they're great advisors for me to have, especially somebody coming from outside the area, coming to, you know, the Northeast and New England and Maine. Yeah, excited to have them on for another 3 years.
and these have already been through the APAC process.
These, yes, absolutely.
And so it's just up to us at this point too.
Yes.
Any discussion? Seeing as there's none, all those in favor? 2 in favor, none opposed. And then my question is, the next one is an act to appoint Matthew Graveline to the airport business seat on the Airport Public Advisory Committee. My question really is, why is this a separate issue and not part of the same one where you appointed the first two?
And I have a question as well.
But we haven't not made it a motion.
So moved.
And I'll second. Yeah.
Question, we have an application here.
Yes.
It has no name on it. It doesn't say whose application this is.
That would be Matthew Graveline, right?
Great. Sort of one, I thought perhaps that might be the case. No name on it anyway.
So this would be. Graveline. Yep. So this being Mr. Graveline's first term in the APAC. The reason that he's not included in the second one is A, this is his first term, not his second. And B, he will be taking on, with your approval, he'll be taking on the airport business seat. We did not get a nomination for the airport business seat before the APAC meeting where they approved the members. So their instructions to me were to just, you know, find somebody who's willing to do it, get their application, and if I felt that they were a good fit, then to bring it to the commission for approval after that. We had a couple people express interest. The only one that actually went through the application process and, you know, really showed a lot of interest was Mr. Graveline. Mr. Graveline works at Penobscot Island Air, which is a great partner for us at the airport. And yeah, I'd be happy to have him on. You'd like to introduce yourself?
My name is Matthew Graveline. I go by Matt to most people. Excited to take on a role like this, excited to be more involved in a community setting and grow my professionalism further as well.
You work now as a mechanic at
So I've moved into the role of operational assistant, so I'm working with most currently working with Stantec about getting survey flights, looking at nests and things for their contracts, things along that line.
Right?
that's right, it says here, rest from that. Got it.
Does this have to go through the APAC or is this first?
No, it is not technically a requirement. It's best practice to get through APAC. Their instructions to me were to find my own nomination that I'd be willing to give a recommendation to and bring.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Believe so. Seeing this is none, all those in favor? 2 in favor, none opposed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's an awful lot of work just to be a volunteer on this. Action item is an act to approve and sign the 2026 Maine County Emergency Management Mutual Aid Agreement. Do I have a motion? Pass the note, and I will second it. And
Still here.
good. Would you like to introduce this?
Or you got it.
Yeah, yeah. This agreement has been around for a long time, and if you look at the language in it, you can tell that it was written before a lot more stuff was done virtually. COVID kind of taught us how to all work remotely, so we don't necessarily need a whole lot of bodies in the office at any one given time. But this document was written a long time ago, and it focuses on when you have a big enough event that you need a lot of extra people around to be able to man the ship, to take care of things. And so they still keep it as it is, because even though we do so much technology now that we're not necessarily all in the office all the time, if we do have a big disaster from a storm or something like that, and we need some other skilled EMA professionals to be able to work with us at our emergency operations center, it just kind of formally facilitates that. We already kind of do that all the time anyway. We're always all assisting each other. We're a big collaborative team around the state, but this just formalizes it like any other mutual aid agreement.
This fit into NIMS training, to that whole idea of, just the whole management system that.
The incident management?
Yeah.
Well, EMA really doesn't fall into the incident management system in the traditional sense because we are not incident commanders. We are in the EOC. We're not on scene making those decisions. We are the support of the people on scene making those decisions. So this agreement doesn't really do anything with NIMS. It's just more about making sure we have enough staff to be able to keep up with everything if we have a big event.
Where do you find the staff in terms of event? Does you have small staff in the office?
Right.
Or do you find additional staff to ramp up in case if it's needed?
Honestly, it would depend on what was happening. And that's why I mentioned about how we do so much online now anyway. So like when we have a really bad storm right now, we don't necessarily even need to be at the office. If it's safer for us to stay off the road, we're working from home with CMP remotely, and they're doing kind of the same thing, except for the people that are actually outside working, poor souls. So we don't necessarily need to be in the office. If we had a bigger event here and we needed people to come, I can tell you before I'd even have time to think about it, the other county EMA directors would be emailing me or calling saying, do you need some help? And they'll just send people. And we've done the same thing too. They just haven't always taken us up on the offer.
Curious.
Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all those in favor? Two in favor, none opposed. Thank you. And the next item is an act to approve the transfer of $2,222 from resignation and termination to retirement reserve accounts. So moved. And I'll second it. And my first question is, what the heck kind of number is that? $2,222? Should somebody keep their finger on the finger?
So essentially, this transfer is funding that is remaining from the 2025 budget as we're beginning to close for potential retirements that was not spent in 2025. We do have a couple this year, as you've kind of heard about. So we're just requesting to move that from one account in 25 that was not used for retirement account to help us out in 26. And I don't know any more than that because Kathy Robinson is not here, so.
Again, somebody that shouldn't be allowed to take a vacation, but.
I know.
But
Any other discussion? Seeing as none, all those in favor? Two in favor, none opposed. Anything else? Was there some discussion you had mentioned the other day about the deed restrictions on the properties here. Do you want to discuss that now or?
I can give a high-level overview without having my notes in front of me. But yes, I was gonna bring this to the May commission meeting, and somebody from DDK will be present. But essentially, I met with them earlier this year. There seems to be two easements that may or may not be conflicting with each other on the sharing of parking spaces and just general space out here, for getting in our parking lot. And over the years, it seems to have gotten messier and messier. So I had a meeting with them earlier this year, and essentially all we want to do is kind of get the commission together, get their board together and do a new needs assessment. What is really needed from the county, what's needed from DDK, potentially file a new easement if that's what the agreeable next step is, and then ensure that they're part of our contractual agreements with landscaping and plowing and anything else that would affect them in the future. So kind of rebuilding that relationship. I've consulted with the Registry of Deeds on the easements as well as some legal counsel, and they both agree that it could be very conflicting. So it's best to just get both parties together and just kind of discuss what's best as far as the next step.
We have, our next meeting is Thursday
Yes,
at 5.
yes,
And that will be televised.
yes.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
And I will second it. Can I second my own motion? If there's nothing else, all those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.